Thank you, Mr President. My question without notice is to the Foreign Minister, Senator Carr. Does the minister acknowledge the concerns of the movement to end poverty and the 1,000 young people engaged in the campaign from the Oak Tree Foundation, Make Poverty History Coalition and the Micah Challenge, and the concern they have about the government and coalitions dragging their feet on financing 0.5 of GNI for overseas aid and also dragging their feet on the Millennium Development Goals? And if so, will the government identify the year, the specific year, for which Australia is intended to achieve the goal of 0.7% of gross national income for overseas aid?
The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Senator Bob Carr. Senator Bob Carr.
Well, it's the goal I identified at the rally I attended with Senator Milne today, and I made that commitment. I made it clear, and I don't resign from it. We spoke to them, and that's public, and we adhere to it. What Senator Milne is entering is an argument. I'm sorry, did you mention
Order. Senator Bob Carr, ignore the interjections.
There's only one figure in
Senator
this
Bob
Senate
Carr,
chamber.
address the
Only
question
one
and ignore the
figure
interjection.
in this Senate chamber, only one figure in this Senate chamber who opted to be a business partner and co-investor of Senator Obeid.
Order. Just come to the question.
Yes.
Order.
And we will deliver, as we said we will. There's a larger question. There is a larger question about when we get to 0.7%, and there's a larger question sought by those people today, those fine, upstanding people, for 2020. I can't make that commitment. I can say that when we reach 0.5% on target, as targeted, we can make a decision about reaching 0.7%. And I can say that everything we have done with aid is compatible, absolutely compatible with the goals we've laid out, including the decision to sustain people bidding for asylum seeker status while they're on Australian soil from the ODA budget, as is compatible with our guidelines, compatible with OECD guidelines. And I don't apologise for that.
Senator Milne.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank the minister for indicating there is no time frame for 0.7, and I now ask that, given that the government has rolled its climate financing obligations under the UNFCCC into the overseas aid budget, will the government be transparent in this year's budget as to what the exact dollar figure already committed for climate finance in 2013-14 is, so everyone can see what remains for overseas aid?
The Minister.
Well, Mr President, we are on target to reach 0.5%, as I said, and I've got my speech in front of me, by 2016-2017. We've said that before, and we say it again. We are totally accountable in terms of every aspect of the AusAid budget. As I said at the Estimates Committee, you can find the details. You can find the details online, and we're proud of that level of accountability. In estimates recently, I must say the opposition and the Green Party were able to exhaust their folder of questions about AusAid expenditure, with every question being met in comprehensive detail. We'll name one that's outstanding.
Order.
Name one.
Order.
Just
order.
one.
Senator Bob Carr,
one.
resume your seat.
I want just one.
Order.
Thank you,
Order.
Mr. President.
Order. It's Senator Milne's question, and Senator Milne is on her feet, on both sides. On both sides. On both sides. Senator Milne.
President, I would ask the minister go to the question, and that is the dollar figure in this year's budget in terms of transparency for UNFCCC funding.
Order. The minister.
President, I can't answer the detail of that question. I can't answer the detail of that question. I'll take advice.
The order. Senator Milne.
Thank you, and I would like to think we'll get that transparency. Minister, given your concern for Kiribati and Laos that you mentioned this morning and the important projects that we support in those countries, why have you redirected $375 million to offshore processing away from overseas aid, particularly slashing $50 million from the Pacific and $6 million from Laos, having said that they were important projects?
The Minister.
I can say after visiting Laos 3 weeks ago that the government and indeed the community of Laos are enormously grateful to Australia for the aid that, among other things, funds demining of unexploded ordnance in the north of that country, funds operations on youngsters in Vientiane Hospital, restores the sight of Laotians with sight impairment and blindness, and provides scholarships, university scholarships, for 70 young Laotians. I was honoured to be there on behalf of Australia, hand out those scholarships. I've got to say, in my meetings with the leaders of Laos, the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister and other ministers, I encountered nothing but warm-hearted friendship and gratitude for the Australian aid partnership. All Australians can be proud of our contribution to this developing country. On Kiribati, what other nation has enlisted itself to provide the aid we provide?
Bob Carr.